Welcome to the Expanse Osiris Reborn, a single-player party-based sci-fi RPG, and this is the closed beta right here. So thank you to Owlcat for providing me with an early code to check it out. Those of you guys that have purchased the Miller Pack or the Collector's Edition will also have access to the closed beta. Bravo to the composer first and foremost. I think it actually plays a really important role, not only in the game as a whole, but just this menu experience, especially as somebody who's been watching the TV show and plans on reading the books. Just sitting here on the menu before I went through my first run here, it's just so exciting hearing this music. It really gets you amped up and excited to play. But this game launches in spring of 2027, so we're still potentially a year plus away from release. Of course, that plays a big role in how I'm judging my experience with the closed beta right now. But overall, I enjoyed the 2 runs that I did. I would say a run will take most players between 45 minutes to an hour and a half. It's just one story mission taken from earlier on in the game. It's not the first story mission, but it's fairly early on, so there's not like a ton here. And in this story mission, you don't even have like a full party of 3, nor do you have any like official companions outside of your twin. You meet one of the companions, but you haven't even recruited that companion officially yet. So, you know, there's a lot missing here in terms of knowing how the overall experience is going to be. But I enjoyed the limited experience that we have here. Didn't really like blow me away. Like, it wasn't like revolutionary or anything too insane going on here, but it did feel like it's going to be a solid, fun experience. And if you like the Expanse, of course, it's a no-brainer. I think it's going to be a really, really fun one. But in this video, I'm going to just kind of give you my thoughts as to where we're at right now and give you an overview of what is offered in this beta. So as I continue to cover this game, we'll all kind of know what we're getting into here. Well, let's jump right into it. So unfortunately, in the beta, we do not have access to the character creator. But we do have 4 pre-made characters here, and we do know that a character creator is confirmed. So you have much more customization when the game actually launches, and maybe Owlcat will show it off before then. But this game does feature a classless system, so you're going to be building your character from the ground up and, you know, investing into skills to create your own play style. But in the beta here, we have the choice between officer and hacker, which is going to set you up with certain skills, you know, to offer a certain play style that's different from the other choice. Then for background choices in the beta, we have Belter and then Earther. Martian is missing but will be in 1.0. Both Belter choices are female and both Earther choices are male. But like I said, when the character creator actually comes out, you'll be building all this on your own and customizing their appearance, etc. So say hello to my Belter hacker female character here. You can see I'm just kind of running around towards the end of the story mission. Not that there's like huge spoilers, but I'm not going to really spoil anything really at all. But yeah, as you can see, kind of running around, and it's a third-person perspective. When you sprint in this game, it pulls the camera back a little bit. I personally think the camera's a little bit too close when you're just running around. I mean, it looks good, but I kind of wish that you could pull it back to at least the sprint distance here. When I'm like searching for loot in the environment and stuff, you can't really see that well. Your character's taking up like 20% of the screen, and you really can't see that much when you're trying to pick things up. But the game runs pretty well for, you know, being a year plus out from release. I have everything on max settings right now. I have a 4080 GPU, but I'm running everything on max, and it runs pretty well. I am using a controller, but you can, of course, do mouse and keyboard. The beta is only available for PC on Steam right now, but, you know, when the game actually comes out, this will be PS5 and Xbox, so keep that in mind. But controller and mouse and keyboard both work quite well. But overall, just the basic feeling of the game, you know, just running around, just moving in the environment and holding up your gun and interacting with things, I would say things feel really, really, really good, especially considering we're a year out. We can switch weapons right here. I have a primary and a secondary weapon, and all my gadgets are in the bottom right. And you can see my twin character right here, Jay. Hey, what's up, Jay? Can we talk to Jay right now? Sometimes you can. I don't know if I can right now. Take a quick look at the menu interface, though. I'm actually a big fan of the UI in this game. I think it looks quite nice. You can read things easy. It's pleasant on the eye. I know this, you know, is obviously subjective, but I like what they're doing with the UI personally. But as you can see right here, I'm in my quest journal. We have main quests in this game, companion quests, which unfortunately there's none of those in the beta that you can do. At least I didn't find any. And then we also have side quests, so traditional RPG stuff here. This game has 7 companions in total. I believe I'm getting that right. The companion quests, you know, companions and interacting with them, etc., is going to be a big part of the game. You don't really get to experience that in the beta. But if we go over here, we have our inventory, we have blueprints, materials, and other, and you're going to be using materials to craft and upgrade your weapons at a workbench, which I'll show you here momentarily. And then we have our equipment menu here, which is where you can see your character. I didn't find a way to be able to like turn your character, so if they're able to do that at some point before the game comes out, I think a lot of players would appreciate the ability to, you know, maybe zoom in a little bit and rotate that character around when you're looking at things. Another really quick point of feedback here, and maybe people won't agree with me on this, but there's no inventory menu where you can just see everything that you have, like all your guns and your gear and everything in one. If you want to know what you have, you have to actually click on individual categories here. So if I want to see other primary weapons that I have to click on my primary weapon, and it shows that I have a shotgun in my inventory as well, but it doesn't show anything else. Now this is nice when I know what I'm looking for, but when you pick up an item and you don't necessarily remember what that item is, there's no inventory menu where you can just, you know, see everything and sort by newest picked up or whatever. You just have to come in here and not remember what you picked up, and then click on each category and hopefully remember that what you picked up to then see what it is, but you might not remember what you had already in your inventory. So what I'm saying is it's nice that it's organized like this, but I think I would also like an inventory menu where I can just see everything in one as well. It'd be interesting to see what others say about that. But we have our primary gun, our secondary gun, gadget slots here, which offer some really unique playstyle opportunities. So for example, on this character right here, I have the pandemic algorithm, which is like a shock type ability. So if I back out of the menu here and I hold down L1, we can aim that at an opponent and it will grasp on and just shock them. And sometimes it has like an AoE shock and it will freeze the enemies. I'll show you guys it in combat here momentarily. But we have our gadgets, then we have subsystems here, which give you all sorts of extra passive benefits. And then for armor, I'm seeing a helm slot and then a body slot. I'm not sure if they're going to have more or not. There's no stats on these. I don't know if they're planning on adding anything. I'm sure they are because it says modified. So this is a vac suit unmodified, so I'm assuming, you know, the armor is going to have a bunch of stats and things that you can add onto it. Just not seeing anything in the beta right now. But if we go back up to the weapons right here, you can see on my primary weapon, I can click on any of these primary weapons that I have here, and I can press X and it'll bring me into their upgrades, their, you know, modifications that you can add to them. And when you gather parts and go to a workbench, you can actually upgrade to different grades here and grab different special stats and affixes that these weapons have. For example, this, you know, this shotgun right here, I did upgrade to structural damage right here, but I could have also done reload speed or rate of fire. And then grade 2 is unlocked, and now I can choose between these two, and then grade 3 will unlock, and we'll be able to upgrade that. And all the way to grade 5 with this particular weapon, which is minus 45% incoming damage while equipped with a shotgun. So a very, very important upgrade there. It's a really, really tanky upgrade for those who like to get up close and personal with a shotgun. So I like what they did here with the weapon upgrade system. You can't do a ton of it in early access or in the beta because you don't have a ton of materials and it's not that long. But I do like how each weapon is unique from one another, and you can do it with so many different things in this game. So if we go to the gadgets right here, I can upgrade those as well. As you can see, if we go down to the subsystems and click on one of those, I can upgrade this as well. So there's upgrade systems behind almost all the gear that you can put on your character, which is really, really cool. But you'll also notice that I can tab over to my party member, which is my twin currently. And if we had 3 party members and more companions, I believe I'd be able to tab over to the other one that would be in my group. Now we can also select any of their weapons that they have and, you know, change them up and also upgrade that as well. So this is the type of stuff I like to see in RPGs. There's not as many slots for the companions, but, you know, there's enough here to where you can kind of make them unique with whatever upgrades that you want and customize their weapons, etc. So I love to see this. So good job to Owlcat on allowing that. But just to show you guys where you'll upgrade, you'll be upgrading at workbenches in the game. And, you know, when the actual game comes out, eventually you'll have your own ship where all your party members are, and you'll return to that ship. And I'm assuming there's going to be, you know, a workbench there. But just in the middle of the map on this one, I found a workbench in this one area. And if I just click on it, you'll see that we have our modification tab here if we want to add mods to our weapons. And then fabrication. I almost said that during my gameplay video too. Fabrication tab as well, where you can actually create weapons if you find the blueprints for them. I didn't find any blueprints in the beta. But for modification, if we just click on the assault rifle right here, well, you can full reset the weapon too to start back from scratch and then re-upgrade if you don't like how you upgraded it. But if I click on modify, you can see if I have enough spare parts, I think my webcam's in the way. and enough wires, I'll be able to upgrade into level 2 here. And then when I want to upgrade to grade 3, let me just move my webcam over just a little bit here. Sorry about that. You can see, so for grade 3, we actually need spare parts, wires, and then also capacitors. So the further that you get along in your upgrades and modifications, the more parts are required. And you'll pick these parts up, you know, by looting things in the environment, drops on enemies and stuff like that. As you can see right here, there's a bunch of loot. So if I look over here, we have wires, we have repair foam, and then credits as well. So this is where you're just going to find things out and about. Repair foam is actually how you heal yourself. Let me show you guys another one of my gadgets here, and then I'll switch over to my other character. And this gadget is called the Gremlin Drone Swarm, which is an area prolonged gadget. And as you can see, we have a description of the ability. There's duration, cooldown, radius, gives you the status effect, damage per second, damage type. I like how they, you know, put so much into so many different things in this game. It's not just real bare bones like you see in like a lot of action adventure games. It's Owlcat though, so of course you expect them to go, you know, deeper than normal with some of these systems. If I shoot this gremlin drone out, it's pretty cool. You know, shoots that swarm out, and you know, it will take an enemy's health over time. It will stun them a little bit, and other enemies might run into it, etc. And switching over to my Earther character, who is an officer preset, I actually have a frag grenade right now, and then I can switch to incendiary rounds. Gotta change it up. Well, I actually found a sniper rifle with this character too, which is just pretty awesome. And then of course I have the tactical visor, which both characters actually have, where you can see enemies through walls and fun stuff like that. But back to the menu interface. So we went over equipment. There's nothing showing for local map in the beta, but then we have skill trees. So right now I have my character selected, but you can go over to one of your companions as well, and you notice that some things might change up. So for my character, my main character, look at the exploration skill tab here, or the skill section here, and you see that it says Persuasion and Engineering, and my personal is also Gravity's Gift, increase athletics by 1, while for my twin character, for exploration, it says Perception and Athletics, and the personal is called Twin Bond. Now, these exploration skills, for example, these are going to be skills that you invest into and choose, and you know, the character creator, etc. We don't know a ton about it because we don't have access to that, but this is going to be very dependent on how you play as a player and how you want your RP experience to be and how you want your world exploration experience to be. But going back to my character here, you can see for combat skill trees, we have Shooter, Gadget, Survivalist, and Leader. If I just click on Shooter, you can see we have some sort of a tree going on here where you upgrade into different nodes and get different benefits. For example, Guns Blazing gives a 30% increase to weapon damage while a deployable ability is active, while Attack of Opportunity is a weapon damage increase, while a timed ability is active. So if you're a player that favors one over the other, you know, you would consider investing into one of those. And if we go down into the second tier here, we have passive nodes that you can invest into to increase, you know, damage, etc. for different types of weapons: shotgun, sniper rifles, submachine guns, pistols, assault rifles. And then the tier 3 here kind of feel more like ultimate skills in a way, ultimate passives maybe. It looks like there's a lot missing currently in the beta, but Kill Streak right here increases the critical damage modifier by 20% for each opponent killed. So you're just raining critical shots down on opponents. It sounds very, very powerful when you actually unlock that. And then if we go over to gadgets, it's a similar thing here. The tier 3 upgrade here is called Kill Streak, minus 1.5 second to current ability cooldowns for each opponent killed. So you're just killing opponents and your cooldowns are decreasing. If we go over to Survivalist and go down to tier 3, Defense Protocol: once per combat, when armor is reduced to 0, emergency repair is triggered, regenerating armor to its maximum value. So it's almost like a get out of jail card. One time, you don't actually die, you get to stay alive. And then for Leader, we have combat training. Each companion gains +2 combat skill points, and then all the other nodes that I didn't go over there. If we scroll over to the exploration skills, it operates similarly to the combat skill trees. A little bit more bare bones here in the beta though. As you can see, there's not like a ton that you can get, but it looks like they're going to be filling this out with more. In this game, skill checks such as Persuasion operate in a way where you just have to meet the required number or exceed that number, and then you'll pass that skill check. In fact, I'll show you an example of a few of them right now. So as you can see, I'm talking to a character named Luciana, and I have a dialogue choice here that says requirements, Persuasion. So my character has Persuasion, has the Persuasion skill. How many points you have in it will determine whether or not you're able to pass that skill. So if we go ahead and click on this option here,
it's interesting to hear who's buying what, of course, but I want to know some real secrets.
On the left side of the screen, you can see Persuasion success, 2 out of 1. So my character has 2 points, but we only needed 1 to pass that Persuasion check. And then right here, I'll show you an example of an athletics check. So if we come up to this box right here, it says athletics, press X. And because I have 2, we only needed 1. Myself and my companion, we can actually pull this crate out and then get the loot behind it. And then, of course, we have my engineering tree here. And then for my companion, I have perception and then also athletics. Like I said, with persuasion, it's kind of interesting because, you know, the further you get, you might end up getting some extra passive benefits, such as athletics, not only giving you another +1 in tier 4 here, but it also increases melee damage by 50%. So more than just, you know, the skill utility use, sometimes this can carry over to combat as well. Now, another example of an exploration skill, I have cyber sabotage here with my female hacker character. And if we go into this computer here and I press admin access Y, it brings me to a menu where I can actually hack in here, where if I was playing a character that didn't have cyber sabotage 1, I wouldn't be able to do the hacking system at all. So overall, I like what they're doing here with these skills. The more that they can focus on these and the more they can put them in the game, the better in my eyes. But, you know, for the beta, I like what I see so far. And, you know, I did see some choice consequence with persuasion, for example. You know, you can, if you don't persuade in this one situation, you can kind of alter the consequences a little bit. Everything ultimately plays out similarly here in the beta because it's such a short quest. But there does appear to be some choice consequence, and they are advertising that heavily for the full game. So as long as they really dig into stuff like that, and really those skills can make a difference in your run compared to somebody who doesn't have those skills or doesn't have them as high, I think it's going to be a good system. But now let's talk about combat. First outside of combat, and then I'll showcase a small combat encounter. We have our primary weapon and our secondary weapon. You can switch between these with ease. Fortunately, I think I'm just going to say unfortunately, you can't actually change your primary and secondary weapon though in combat. So if I was in combat, I couldn't come in here and, you know, change my assault rifle to my sniper rifle. And honestly, it kind of felt bad, I would say. On my other run, I had a character that had a sniper and I wanted to switch to the sniper, change things up a little bit mid-combat encounter, and I wasn't able to do that. So I'm not sure if this is just how it is in the beta, if they plan on switching that or what, but that's just a little point of feedback. I think as of right now, I would like to be able to switch that primary to another weapon or the secondary to another secondary. But right now, you know, you can have 2 selected, your primary and your secondary, and it's pretty easy to switch back and forth between them. And in the bottom right of the screen, we of course have all my gadgets down here, which I showed off most of those. And then of course I have to talk about the cover system in this game. It's very Mass Effect like. So as you can see, if I kind of aim my character at this barricade area right here, you can see it says cover, and if I press A, my character is just going to auto run up to it and take cover, and then I can move left and right. I can, you know, peek out, stand up, and the character will go back down underneath it. And if I want to move to another area of cover, I don't actually have to, you know, move my character myself, so to say. If I'm aiming the cursor the right way and it says cover, I can hold down A right now and my character will take cover behind this this door frame right here. Overall, it feels pretty good, but I'd say the cover system does feel a little janky at times when you're in combat. It kind of snaps places and it feels just a little off, like it needs to be touched up a little bit more. But overall, not too bad, just a little janky in my opinion. Now, this game also features a tactical pause. So if I press up on the D-pad right now, the game goes into a very, very, very slow motion state. As you can see, Jay is still slowly walking in front of my character right now. So if you're in combat, there is a little bit of intensity when you go into the tactical pause, because bullets are still going to be coming in. If you take forever, you're going to end up getting hit or hurt, etc. But it's kind of cool, the tactical pause. So I'm in the pause right now and I have my character selected, but because I'm not actually in combat, I can't use some of my skills right now, but I can use tactical scanner. So if I press A while I'm in tactical pause, it will highlight tactical scanner. And when I let go of the tactical pause, or when I press the unpause button, my character is going to just automatically use tactical scanner. Now, if I go over at my companion here, and I only have 1 right now, and we're going to actually have 2 in the future, I can also control my companions to a certain degree. A couple things are grayed out because I'm not in combat, but I can control my companion where they're going to move right now. So as you can see, it says move. I'm going to aim my cursor right here. Maybe I want my companion to come back a little bit. And when I press unpause, it's going to automatically use the tactical scanner and issue out the order for my companion to move. So let's go ahead and do that.
Hold that spot.
So tactical pause, and now Jay is moving to right there, and obviously not with urgency because we're not in combat. But now we're going to actually be in combat, and I would say, especially considering we're a year plus out, things feel pretty good, especially the gunplay. Like I said, the cover system and the movement feels a little janky at times, but the guns feel really good. Let's go ahead and take this guy out. And then we're going to move up. And oh no, there's way more opponents than I thought there was. So I'm going to enter into tactical pause because I'm panicking. And in tactical pause, I can aim over this character right here and then queue up my gremlin drone swarm to just go off when I let go. So we got that off. And now also, if I go into tactical pause right here, you'll notice there's a pipe that I can press Y on with my companion. Oh, hold on.
They won't give me that easy.
There we go. And now she just took out that pipe, just burning that other character over there. You can do that in tactical pause or outside of tactical pause. Let me use my scanner. Now I can see where opponents are.
To advance. Good one.
We're going to use the cover system. Okay, move up here a little bit. I'm going to use my tactical shock here. So that guy's shocked right now. I got this elite enemy right here on me. Get down behind cover. And I do have a dodge, as you can see right here. It's kind of like a jetpack type dodge.
One, two, advance.
There we go. We took out the elite enemy, and then we have a couple enemies up here as well. And I can have Jay take out that in the environment, and then we'll go like this, and I'm going to have Jay engage this character. So I can do this outside of combat too, and this is going to make Jay, my companion, focus all her efforts on this one character right here, and you get a damage boost when she does this as well. So I'll just press Y for engage. Actually, I'm going to do this outside of the tactical pause. I'm just going to press Y.
Eagle eye. Let's see how much momentum they can
And now she is going to focus all out on that one character. And come right up, and here we go. Get him, Jay, get him.
They won't give me that easy.
I have no foam packs to heal right now. And I died. So yeah, and the game is actually kind of hard when you play on hard mode. I've played on normal and hard. Normal was pretty easy, but I died, and we have to load the last save. I'm happy I died though. Shit. Overall, I'd say the combat is pretty good considering we're a year plus out. Some things are a little janky, things need to be polished up, and the AI actually sometimes can be a little bit dumb, which is a little worrisome, but they have a lot of time to touch all this up. Like sometimes an enemy will be running towards you and your companion will be right in that enemy's face, but they won't interact with each other at all, and your companion will just run around that enemy, and your enemy won't even acknowledge your companion. Little stuff like that that I need to touch up on, but I think the combat's going to be in a pretty good state come 1.0 if they continue to work on it. Overall, I did enjoy it. But we have to talk about 0G environments because this was one of the highlights of the beta for myself. As you can see, I'm in a 0G environment right now. We have our mag boots on, which is lore accurate for the Expanse. And when you're out here in 0G, the devs did a really good job making it feel different. So if I shoot my gun, it's like muffled, which is pretty cool. If you throw a grenade, the grenades need like their own propulsion systems to reach their target. A lot of cool little details like that. When you're kind of sprinting around, it looks a little doofy and weird, I would say, but it's fine. Not a big complaint or anything. I think 0G is cool though, and you're going to be getting into combat encounters similarly to when you're not in a 0G environment and using cover, etc. One really quick request or a point of feedback here before we move on from combat though is that I would like the ability to crouch. So this actually would go for outside of combat too. I can't find a way to just crouch my character down, and I don't see anything in the keybinds either. The only way you can crouch, from what I have experienced, is that when you're in combat or when you go up to cover that is represented as cover, your character will run up to it and then crouch down. Whenever you step away from that cover, your character always stands up. And there's a few situations where I would like to be able to crouch on my own. Maybe I come up to something in the environment that isn't actually like designated as official cover, but I still want to duck down a little bit. And sometimes you want to just crouch and back away from cover so you can slowly reveal what's off in the distance, and you can't really do any of that. You don't have any agency over that. So I would really like the ability to crouch my character down. I don't know why they don't have it. But how about the story and the writing and the dialogue and stuff like that? Because that's very important to these party-based RPGs. And overall, I think it's pretty good. And, you know, I've been watching The Expanse and I plan on reading the books, and I like how, I don't know if I could necessarily say things are lore accurate because I'm not an expert on the lore yet, but things very much tie into the lore from what I remember from the show. And for example, you know, you might come into one room and on the news, you'll hear about an event that occurred in the show when you're watching the show, like an important event, and you'll hear characters that are referenced that you know from the show and the book. And I think that's really cool that they're actually doing that. Now in this game, you are playing your own story, but within the events of what goes on in The Expanse from seasons 1 through I think 3 and maybe a few episodes into 3, all those events are going on in the world, and you are going to hear about them and be involved with them to a certain degree, but you're also on your own personal journey. And I think it's a really cool way of combining this already established franchise, but also making something new. And it seems like they're doing a good job in that aspect. And then there's little things such as, if you look at this guy right here, he's super tall and skinny. And if we come over here, same with this lady right here. And that's because they are belters, and belters live most of their lives in low gravity environments, and therefore they tend to be a little bit more elongated, while earthers that grow up on Earth and spend most of their time on Earth tend to be what we would consider normal human size, but to belters a little bit smaller. But earthers are also a little bit more sturdier and stronger, while belters tend to have weaker bones and muscle structures. But it's cool to see stuff like that in the game, especially if you know Expanse, if you watch the show or read the books. Actually in the show they don't even really represent that, but it's cool that they're actually doing it in the game. As far as the writing goes for the quests and stuff, I don't know, like I think it's going to be good. I don't see any reason why it won't be. There's one quest, I don't know, it's kind of, with this guy you got to bring a gift to his mother. And the way it's presented is just kind of dorky, a little bit boring, I would say, but it's just a side quest. It's not a big deal. The overall writing feels like it's going to be pretty good. The quest that you're on is intense. You meet some interesting characters. The game presents you with a lot of dialogue options with some of the NPCs that you'll meet, such as Luciana right here. You'll see that I have 5 different dialogue options here, 6 if you include the "we need to go." So they did a good job, like, you know, expanding on some of these characters. And Luciana's not even a companion, at least she hasn't been revealed to a companion. And same with another guy named Larry. All this information that you can get from them, they really put a lot of work into establishing some of these characters. So when things happen in the game, you know, you have some sort of emotional attachment to that character. You remember them, you worry about them, and that's really important in games like these. Now, unfortunately, we didn't really get to meet companions in the beta. There's one companion named Zafar who you meet in the beginning, and then he just kind of works for you from afar. He helps you out from wherever he is, and he is really good voice actor, and seems like it's going to be a really interesting character, but you don't really get him in your group, so to say. So I can't really speak on companions, which is a really important topic for a party-based RPG, but I'm inclined to believe that it's going to be a pretty good companion system with some good information and lore and quests on those companions. And Owlcat did say that some of the companions that you don't take with you on a mission, they're going to be off doing things on their own to support your mission or other things that are important to the story. And you do see that a little bit in the beta here. Like I said, Zafar doesn't become an official companion yet in this beta, but he does actually allow you to press a button and he gives you like cover fire from up in your ship over here. You can shoot these machine gun turrets down to help you out a little bit, and you have some control over that. And it's cool to see a companion like that, who's not actually in my group at this moment, still be able to be used and, you know, be calling in and checking on me and helping me in any way that he can. And speaking of companions, you know, like being at your ship and then, you know, talking to all the companions, getting their opinion on things, we just don't know for this game yet because it's not in the beta. Now, voice acting overall, I would say, is pretty good. There's some standout performances, I would say. Like Zafar, when you meet him initially,
Such cruel irony. Not to die in combat, but on vacation.
fantastic voice actor. While some of the other voice acting feels a little bit more unnatural, I guess you could say, less flowy. Like it's a little disconnected, like two people talking, but it feels like they might have recorded in a separate room, not with each other, that type of feeling. But it's not a big deal in my opinion. I think overall it's good enough. And then you have some of these really good performances as well, like with Zafar, which I think that's going to carry over to all the companions and the main characters in the game. But let's go ahead and just have a quick chat with Larry so you can hear. He's a side character as far as I know.
Sorry, I don't have energy to think of any topic to talk about. You go.
So you can see like the facial animations and stuff. Nothing's like insanely good or anything, but it's good enough in my opinion. Now I will say, hopefully we could change the voices of our twin, because the male twin character right here is a really annoying voice. I'd hope I don't have to listen to it the entire game.
Thanks. Can't imagine what hoops you jumped through to get the coffee, let alone the spices.
So hopefully in character creation we can change that stuff a little bit. Your main character's voice, in my opinion, the male and female, is good, but the twin that you have is just a little, I would say, on the annoying side, but that's going to be highly subjective. But I was a little surprised at first. I was like, I gotta listen to this guy in my ear the entire game. We don't know a ton of details about how the main story is going to play out, but you know, the story involves proto-gen and proto-molecule, if you guys have watched Expanse. And I think it's going to be good. I have a feeling that it is going to be a good story with good writing. I can't know for sure until, you know, we get to play more, but so far I'm feeling pretty good about it. And speaking of, you know, the way the main story is being told, we have cinematics in this game that I think are really well done. They're not the best cinematics I've ever seen before, but they're really good. So bravo to owlcat for this. This isn't like an area of expertise for them. They're usually a CRPG company. But the cinematics in this game really set up the story quite well. I feel like you're watching a movie almost with some of them. So, you know, as long as they keep that up for the entire game, that's a major plus when it comes to storytelling. If you guys want to watch some pure gameplay, I did upload an hour and 20-minute long beta run where I played on hard as a belter hacker. That is on the channel. I'll have a link down below. But overall, I am feeling pretty good about where this game is headed. It's unfortunate that we didn't get to really experience the companion system too much, or like your home base, your ship, or the character creator. But you know, it's just one story mission, and I don't think they want to spoil too much, which is probably a good idea, because I don't think this is going to be like a massive 100-hour game. I forget what they said, but it's not like a Baldur's Gate 3. So, you know, only releasing one story mission is probably a good idea for a beta like this. But if we were maybe like a month away from release, yeah, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But considering we're probably a year plus, I think the game's looking pretty good right now, and I'm definitely interested in staying up to date with all the information that owlcat drops. And I'm excited to see where this goes, especially as somebody who watched The Expanse on is it on Netflix right now? I think it's on Netflix. I'm gonna read the books too, so I think that'll play a big role in my enjoyment of this game. You definitely don't have to have watched or played The Expanse, but it's gonna elevate your experience in my opinion. So yeah, thank you to owlcat for providing me an early look at the game. And on April 24th, I'm actually going to be joining owlcat alongside streamer Luality on owlcat's Twitch and YouTube channel, alongside some of their developers playing the game. So yeah, if you want to watch that, that'll be at April 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, 11 a.m. Eastern over on Twitch and YouTube at owlcat. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you on the next one.